Whoa, and we are live. At least I am. Barely. At this early in the morning? Yeah. I'm barely alive right now. What is going on? Let's see here. Sending out a couple links to our regular host. Maybe get a guest host today. There we go. Alright. I guess let's see what is in the 2A news today. Let's see, I might have tagged myself in a couple things. I think I did. Oh, that was it. Let's see, oh, today's the day, 5/8. So that's probably going on right now. Let's see here. To go to www.house.gov/representative/find-your-representative. To find your representative, enter your zip code and call their DC office. A person, a soldier named Eddie, is going in front of Congress today in person, and his lawyer's going to show a video of Eddie providing medical care to a dying ISIS fighter. And I guess somehow he was wrongly accused of doing something or something, but apparently they have a video to exonerate him, and Congress is going to see it and I guess decide something on it. I'm gonna have to look more into this. Anyone else heard about that? I wonder why they're just referring to him as Eddie. I mean, come on, what's his name? But that's going on today, Wednesday, 5/8. That seems like a let's see. Duncan Hunter. Representative Duncan Hunter is the one who's trying to exonerate this soldier. Looks like this guy might already be in jail or something. Who do we got joining us? Oh, they're Outlaw.
What's going on, buddy?
What are you doing? You off today?
Yeah, I'm off.
Holy crap. How did you manage to get a middle of the Wednesday? Wednesday must be like the slowest day, probably, huh?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, middle of the week, ain't nothing going on. Like,
I'm on my phone, so I'm not sure how stable this is going to be.
oh, you sound great.
That's a miracle. I'm in the process of moving too, so.
Oh yeah, out of state? Are you like coming out west?
No, I'm still in South Carolina. I'm just moving closer to work. So I'm in my new place now. I'm well furnished, as you can see.
Oh wait, I gotta turn up my thing. I can just hear from the volume. It sounds like echo.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got the video on. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We are very well furnished.
No, looks, dude. Look, show that around. That looks good, dude. That looks nice. I like the floor. Oh,
Yeah.
you got a smock? Your little vape thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like
it works well.
I know. I quit smoking and I've been vaping. And next thing you know, I'm going to buy a CZ. So. I guess that's this life.
There's nothing wrong with buying CZs. I love CZs. So.
As long as I don't end up with a fedora, I think I'm good.
What's wrong with a fedora?
Because then once you go to Fedora, then you start going to Starbucks. And once you start going to Starbucks, then you start asking people to speak to their manager. And it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, well, what you do is this. Instead of a fedora, you get yourself a cowboy hat, a good Stetson.
Okay, yeah, but some people will argue that a fedora is a cowboy hat. So,
Well, they're idiots.
oh yeah, well I agree, but still,
But yeah,
man, it looks all bright and nice there. It's all rainy and shitty weather. I think all of our stuff's coming your way. So I'll tell you what, the last 2 days has been hella storms, dude. So when it comes to you, probably tomorrow, be prepared, man. I'm telling you, like, it was bad.
yeah, it's not too bad right now.
It's bright as hell. Oh, look at all that BB gun shooting range right there. Like, yeah, that's definitely you could take a pellet rifle out right there. Look at that. Yeah, right out your window. Right out that window, you can go set a target up. Yep.
And we got the moss in the trees, and it is what it is. Here's a little view of the kitchen. It's a mess, but it's getting there.
It looks great. So where's the gun room gonna be? Where's your gun bench and stuff? The workshop gonna be to start creating new guns.
And here's the backyard.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah!
So
You got a place to chain them up. You got, yeah.
Yeah, I'm set.
You're gonna you're gonna make yourself a little like shooting range right there, right?
Well, the neighbors behind me probably wouldn't appreciate that.
Oh no, like an air gun or something.
Oh well, yeah, I could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, dude, trigger time's trigger time. It doesn't matter if it's no air gun or not. Like I'm telling you, yeah.
And here's the best part. I'm 5 minutes from work right now.
You'd be surprised, like an air gun at like just 25 yards, what kind of drops and stuff it can have, and wind can affect it and stuff. Very similar to like rifles at 100 or 200 yards. You know, like.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm about 5 minutes from work, so if I want to do any real shooting, all I got to do is go to my job, and I shoot free there. So
So what you're saying is I'm coming to stay with you in South Carolina?
why, sure.
How far is that Jackson, Fort Jackson from you?
Oh God, 4 hours.
Okay, so then I'm coming to stay with you for a day or two this August.
Yeah, well, you better hope I can get a bed in the spare room.
Well, I don't have to stay with you, but I might visit you.
Oh, okay. I figured that might have an effect.
I'm just saying I'm going to be out that way this August. So for my boy's graduation there at Fort Jackson.
If you're heading out this way, let me know when you're going to be here, and we'll get together.
Okay.
I'll get Night Stripes bucket over here, and we'll have a little barbecue or something.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I don't want to miss my boy's graduation, so we're going to fly out there for it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. But yeah, that's why I haven't been doing the shows. I've been moving around, trying to get everything straightened up here. I don't have internet yet, so I can't do my live streams. As soon as I get things worked out and straightened up, I'll.
Well, dude, like, you know, if you okay, so I have those unlimited internets now. So if you ever want me to like just like host it for you and then email you the copy of the thing to put it up on your channel, I can totally do that. Like, and then you can just run the thing from your phone or whatever. But Like, you just let me know if you need me to do anything for you.
I appreciate it.
Because,
I
yeah,
truly.
like, I've been in there a couple times, like, and like, hey, like, are you doing a show tonight? And I'll see you in there, but then you don't answer.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm on the phone, and
Phone, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, gun channels and phones. It don't work well.
Yeah.
Speaking of gun channels, guys, anybody out there listening
Oh,
that's not a member of gun channels, you need to be. Get over there, sign up on gun channels. It's free. Um, Pretty soon, YouTube's going to, get to the point where they're not going to be putting any gun content out there. They're not going to allow it. And we have to have something to fall back on. Gun channels is your best bet, honestly.
gun channels and gun tube, right?
Yeah, that's it. Um, so if you're not a member of gun channels, get over there, sign up. G Webs has worked his butt off over there to make that a home for people who put out content around the Second Amendment and guns and the such. So, guys, jump on there, sign up. It's free. They say it's for content creators, but it's for everybody. Anybody that's interested in 2A, anybody that's interested in firearms, anybody that has a interest in protecting the Second Amendment, go over there and sign up on gunchannels.com.
Yeah, I agree. And on gun tube.
And on
Night
gun.
Strike's trying to get GunTube over there. He's mostly fronting the bill, all of it, all himself, right? I'm a member of the of his Patreon over there, and so are a couple other people.
So
But he doesn't have very much help. He's mostly doing it himself, right? He's kind of a one man band, and like if he just got some more people to get behind him and to get noticed, I don't think it's not going to take very many for him to increase space and get some advertising and maybe start working with some companies, and it could definitely take off and be the next thing. I mean, it really could, because I see some of the other platforms, people are like, oh, this is the one, and then all of a sudden it seems to like stagnate, and then I still don't think there is a clear winner on Full 30 versus Gun Streamer versus YouTube, like versus like any of them. I don't. There isn't like one. One hasn't appeared at the head of the pack yet. I don't think.
no, and it's not going to happen. I mean, everybody's still trying to get their platform up and running. And here's the thing, man. Uh, we all know Night Strike. We all know the work that he's put into Gun Tube. We all know that he's busted his ass to get that thing up and running the way it has. And with all the members of gun channels right now, we should be behind him, backing him, supporting him, and letting him take this thing to the next level. He's been doing it now for well over a year, and he's made leaps and bounds, but he could do more with our support, with our help. So let's get behind him. If you're not signed up for GunTube, get over there and sign up. Same as
If
Gun
you're a
Channel.
creator, maybe throw up a couple videos. You know what I mean? Go over there, yeah, sign up, throw up some videos, watch some videos, post some comments, interact with the website, right? Because that's all part of that analytics, and that's what advertisers and stuff. That's the hard data they like to see. And you can't get that data unless people are over there pushing buttons, basically, right? Leaving comments on videos, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot of videos up over there, and so
Here's the thing, guys. Think about this for a minute. You really want to help him out? Go over there and post one video, even if that video is 2 minutes long, and all you're doing is introducing yourself and saying hello. That's it. Just a 2-minute video introducing yourself to the rest of the guys over there and posted it. You know, that's gonna get those analytics to jumping up a little bit, and everything after that helps. You know, comment on videos, make comments, likes, shares, and that's something that a lot of guys don't do, even on YouTube side. Is they'll like a video, they'll comment on the video, but they never share the video. Well, share that video, those videos that you like on other platforms. Put it over on Facebook, put it on Twitter, post links everywhere. Because all that it does is help these channels grow.
Yep. And like, man, like I don't know if it's true, but apparently from what all the experts have told me, it's like even if you go over there and you watch someone's video and you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Like that still helps them. Like like apparently that's
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even thumbs downs count. So
sitting there like leaving paragraphs of like wording, like that's better. That's like every word you comment's better, apparently. So but yeah, even if you don't like a video, like give it a thumbs down instead of just not doing anything at all, because apparently that's that's better. So ever since I heard that, if I really don't like someone's video, I don't do anything at all. I don't comment, I don't thumbs up, I don't thumbs down, nothing. I just leave it alone, and I stop it as fast as possible, so that they don't have like that playtime, right? Of like minutes played or whatever.
I think it's two. I think if you watch a video for 2 minutes, it's considered a view.
How long? I thought it was 5 minutes.
No, I thought it was 2. I'd have to ask Clover. Clover could give you all of those details.
I know you got to watch it for at least 15 seconds for your thumbs up to count. Because if you thumbs up a video like quicker than like 15 seconds and leave the video, and then your thumbs up doesn't count.
Huh. Well, see, I didn't know that. So, educational programming here, guys. Educational programming. So, is this the what's the name of this show? I got the link, but I didn't even pay attention.
I guess the early watch, dude. Like I'm bringing back the early watch. I can't get a hold of Jimmy. I can't, so screw it. Like there needs to be something in the morning to talk about guns, not just like an open lobby, but like gun, like focused and specific 2A guns, stuff like that. Just like the early watch was, right? And that was sorely missed and needed, and not only by me but by a lot of other people. And I was hoping someone else would bring it back, but I guess I'm the lucky one. So I'd rather listen to someone else, I think, than have to be the one to do it. But oh well. So,
where's Tony?
What's that?
Where's Tony?
Like he was here the other day on Monday. I don't know where he is right now. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Where I sent him a link and he's just not on yet. Or he probably got on earlier. Like he gets on usually like way early.
Yeah.
But nothing was going on. But I'm sure he'll be around. He'll pop in. Maybe Dana will pop in.
Yeah.
Guess.
I'm glad you got the early watch back.
Yeah, it needs it. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it 4 days a week. So I think I'm gonna do it Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then maybe Dana will do it on Tuesdays. And,
now, what do you do? What do you normally do? Run it until Knives starts his show,
or just I'm thinking between 2 and 3 hours, from 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 my time, something like that.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Just for 2 or 3 hours, talk about guns. Like what I'll search Google and stuff for related gun news articles and stuff like that, different gun laws. I really would like to do what Jimmy was doing, where he would go through with the help of other people, that because we all live in so many different states, right? I'm going to set up an email where people can email me in, or they could just do it to my Instagram, I guess, and send me the information about, oh hey, Michigan has this law coming up, this gun bill, or whatever state, county, city, and so then we can spread that information and spread that, right? And I would like to definitely bring that back, because I don't know about you, but like you don't have to be a constituent of a certain state or a certain district to email a representative or a congressman or a senator in a certain state or district and tell them that you don't want a bill passed, that it's like, you know what I mean? There's nothing that says that you have to live in that state or be under their, guise or anything to let them know you don't like what they're doing or that you want them to vote pro gun or whatever the case may be, right? So,
Well, and here's the thing that people need to keep in mind. Right now, they're getting all fired up about the primaries coming up, this, that, and the other. If you don't want the wrong person passing the wrong laws, right now is the time to act. I'm disappointed on the political landscape right now. Trump's let us all down. He really has. The pro-gun folks in this country voted for that man, hoping that he would, at least do something to strengthen the Second Amendment. So far, I don't see he's done anything. So you might want to reconsider the way you're voting if you're thinking about re-voting for Trump.
Dude, I know, but we can't throw our vote away. What are we going to do? Vote third party and throw it away? So then Biden wins the election, and then someone like Bill Clinton comes into office, and then we get a Brady bill for 10 years? I mean, like we can't. There has to be a time where we have to be real adult and be like, hey, I have to go with the lesser of two evils. So if it's between Biden and Trump, who are you going to vote for? You can throw a vote away with third party. You can vote Biden, and do you think Biden's going to be more or less anti-gun than Trump? That's.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. But going back to a third party, though, I have said it for 20 years. We actually, in this country, need that third party.
No, we don't. Okay, so I'll argue that point too. So here's the thing: what makes America the greatest country in the world is the two-party system, and that's why we've stayed the greatest country in the world. When you look at history of every single country that went from a two-party to a three-party to a four-party to a five-party to a seven-party system, every one of those countries is a shithole. You wouldn't want to live there. I sure the hell don't want to live there. Nobody wants to live there. And the people who do live there right now, they want to get the fuck out. Okay, seriously, look at every one of them. And when you start going to third and fourth party systems, that's how a Hitler gets into office, just like it happened in Germany. Okay, when you really research your history on that, that's why we have the two-party system, because it absolutely prevents us from ever getting a Hitler into office. It prevents us from getting a Hillary Clinton into office. It works.
Think about this for a minute, though.
If we would have had a three-party system, Hillary Clinton would have won. Think about that.
How close did we come to getting a Hillary Clinton with a two-party system, though?
Not close at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't close at all.
Too close for my liking. And here's the thing. Right now we have Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals. Well, the Republicans aren't conservative enough for me. That's always been my case. the liberals, Democrats have went so far to the left that they're no longer the Democratic Party. Let's just call them what they are. They're socialists. They are the
I want to
socialist
say hi,
party of
Gun Snob.
America.
Gun Snob
Hello,
joined
Good
us.
Horse. Hello,
Welcome,
Ella.
Gun Snob. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Snob.
What's up, man?
Sorry, we were like sitting there talking. I wanted to make sure to get in and be like, "Hey, Snob, like you can jump in anytime here, dude."
Oh, I know. I was just listening to y'all argue.
No, we're not arguing. Me and Dead Horse never argue. We talk back and forth, but we don't argue. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, but right now we have one party for America and then one party that wants to destroy America. That's just the way I see it. We have bits and pieces of both parties that truly believe in what America can be.
And our founding fathers would tell you that you should be fearing both parties, and both parties want to destroy America. And that's what our founding fathers straight up would tell you, and what they did write down just like that. So I mean, like we shouldn't be like trusting either party. We should always be keeping them such on edge and such on their toes that they need to be afraid of us. That's all there is to it. If they're not afraid of us, if they're not afraid of repercussions or recourse, there's no reason for them to care about us or to even try to do a good job for us.
But I agree with what you're saying. I truly do. And the fact of the matter is, you're right about the forefathers. When the politicians fear the people, that's called liberty. That's freedom. That's what we want. We don't want to get to the point where the people are fearing the politicians and the government. Ever. We'll be the next Venezuela if that ever happens.
I don't know. Some would argue that Venezuela has already been happening here in certain parts of the country for a long time.
Oh, well, yeah, it has. I mean, look at Illinois, for a prime example. California, New York. You disarm the masses, then the government can do what they want.
Oh yeah, like you take all the guns, and then a couple years later, everyone's standing in line for bread and water rations, and then people are starving to death, and then they can't fight back except for like rocks, sticks against guns. Luckily, some of the military there has like defected and have taken some of the guns and tanks and stuff, right? So like, some of the military, because their people too have been like, oh no, like, I know what side I should be on. So, that's like pretty much the only saving grace I've seen that they have right now, because the UN won't intervene. Russia's there doing something. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but supposedly Russia's there, but I haven't seen them doing jack shit.
Oh, that's a red flag right there. That's a red flag in my mind right there. Russia's getting involved, and we're sitting up here twiddling our thumbs.
A U.S. senator or congressman pointed out that there's intel or evidence that there's a nuclear missile there now from Russia. Did you guys hear that?
No,
but I figured Russia was just down there meddling.
It's like the Cuban Missile Crisis all over, but the missile's already there. And like everyone, like I think they're trying to raise like a big concern about it. I'm like, yeah, but you realize that like one Russian submarine or one United States submarine has like the capability of pretty much wiping any country on Earth out, right? And probably a couple more. Like just one submarine, right? So just roaming around, and like Venezuela has one nuclear missile that you know of right now, like big deal.
Ellis, Ozzy's out there screaming at you, telling you not to badmouth all of Illinois, just Chicago.
Oh, okay. Okay,
'Cause
sorry.
he's in the good part of Illinois. Or the better part, anyways.
I apologize wholeheartedly. It's Chicago that sucks.
Which
But
is
does that
sad.
mean
I just drove across to Illinois, and it's nothing but farmland where we drove across. Which is we drove through the town where Ozzy is, and it's just you wouldn't know you weren't in Missouri or Oklahoma or any other state, just the same. But dang it, you got to take your gun out and lock it up.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of guns, I still have to go back over to the old place and get my damn guns. Move them in here. I feel kind of bare bones. I got a shotgun and a pistol with me.
He's got his
But
Maverick
there's-
88 and his High Point with him.
Yeah. Actually, I've got the Shield and the Mossberg.
What's
I
that?
can't believe he left all his Glocks unattended.
Yeah, I don't own a Glock.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I prefer good guns. CZs,
Nah.
SIGs, Smith and Wessons.
He vapes. That's why he likes CZs now. I'm telling you, like as soon as you start vaping, it makes you be like
Full hipster.
it changes. It really does. It's like
No,
as soon as I started vaping, I was like, you know what? I want a CZ P09. Like,
I've got a CZ P09.
exactly. See, like, see.
But I'm the furthest thing in the world from a hipster. Hey, Dead Horse, let me show you something. Take a look at your screen. You see that?
Yep.
Since we've been talking, all my sunshine has went away, and your dang rain clouds has moved in.
No, so that's the one that we got 2 days ago. So you got like a series coming up. So for like the next couple days, one after another are just going to be.
Yeah,
hitting
we're getting hammered today, so he's got another one coming.
Yep. And you got another one coming tomorrow, Snub, because there's one here today. So
You can both kiss my butt.
What sucks is I put a drone on layaway, right after Christmas. So I got it out yesterday, got to fly it for like one flight yesterday because I only had one charge battery. And now I can't fly it today because it's pouring down rain.
Oh, those things aren't waterproof?
Well, I don't know. It was kind of expensive. I don't want to really find out.
Oh,
I'd imagine the rain would interfere with that. Like, I would just imagine.
Oh, Lord. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to back off here. My phone is down to 12%. And it's getting rather warm. So.
All right, I got one question before you go, Outlaw.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so this is a hypothetical question, and you'll get me. So let's just say there's like a gun shop that makes like AR lowers, okay? So
Okay.
they come out with a special edition lower, and 3 guys order the lowers, right? So one guy orders one. 2 hours later, another guy orders one, and 2 hours later, another guy orders one, right?
Uh-huh.
So the first guy who orders one, he gets like a super high serial number. The second guy who orders one gets like a super low, like 3-digit serial number. And then like the next guy that gets one gets like a serial number like in the thousands. Like,
Okay.
what's up with that? Like when they're all ordered like so close and they're not why do you think they're not given out in order that they come in and received?
Because they just grab one out of the bin and say, okay, this one works.
All right. Okay. Good answer. Thank you.
Yep.
It's because Ellis likes to he just shuffles them around in a circle before he puts them in a box.
Oh, see, well, Ellis has nothing to do with that one way or the other.
He always says that, but we have no proof that he doesn't. So I think it's him. And I have a box here from Palmetto State Armory that has Fiddled with Ellis written on it. So I don't know. Fiddled was by Ellis. So.
Uh-huh. Was not me, I assure you of that.
Hold on before you leave. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
Don't forget to grab your Sharpie.
See that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
That
came
look,
this way. received
I'm
it this
no
way.
handwriting expert analysis, but I think that is his handwriting.
Yeah, I think it is too. I received it this way.
I'm sure you did.
I actually did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Noxious might have wrote it, but I didn't write it.
Somebody might have, huh? You gonna blame that one on your wife?
No. That's obnoxious as upper. And whenever I received it, it had that.
Oh.
That's his unicorn upper. I got to a snowflake upper or whatever. We got a.
Wait, you got a unicorn upper from Obnoxious?
Yeah, I got to paint it for him, sir.
Okay, that actually fits, though. We're talking about Obnoxious here.
Wait till you see it when it's done. I got to get that Cerakote
Fairy.
done on it.
He sort of likes those fairies and unicorns and stuff. Little rainbows.
You know what? I saw the coolest unicorn gun. It was a scorpion, right? Like one of those scorpions. And like they like had taken like a child's unicorn toy or something and like chopped that up to put like into the gun. So they painted the gun all pink and purple and stuff. And then they had the head of the unicorn on the end of the rail. And so then like the barrel coming out was like the unicorn horn, like the tip of the barrel, right? So like so they had like a doll unicorn. I don't know, you just have to see it. It was crazy. Like you even had like tassels like hanging off of it and like sparkles and like but they did it in such a way that I was like, wow, like I can't even fault that. Like that's like ingenious. Like that works pretty good.
I guess I'm just old. I want my guns to be one of two colors, black or stainless steel.
That's no fun.
That's boring.
Yeah, but it works. That's all that matters.
There's what we're going to do to it.
It looks like a bubble gum gun.
It does. He wants it as ugly as possible.
Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Dead Horse, thank you for the link, sir. Snob, you be careful and take care of yourself.
All right. Thanks for joining, man.
And tell your wife I said hello and not to beat you up too much.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all take care.
She's at work today, so I'm safe. That is awesome.
I would rock.
That is awesome.
I would rock it. I'm sorry. I would take that thing to town. Yep. It's perfect. Yep. I can't even fault that. I absolutely just, I don't know. I got to build my granddaughter one like that, I think. I'm going to have to go to the thrift shop and look at like little girl toys and stuff and find like a unicorn or something. Or she's all into My Little Pony anyway, so I got to go find some My Little Pony stuff. So there we go.
Yeah, maybe if you did it on a 22, it wouldn't even melt it either.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it on a little Cricket or a Henry Mini. I even have an extra Henry Mini laying around here. That's probably what I'll end up giving her, is that Henry Mini. So I already got the gun. Basically, I can fix up and transform into something like that. I just got to go find like the toys and stuff to go put on it and go get it all fancy Cerakoted by somebody. Actually, I'm going to start Cerakoting myself. I'm going to build me the little steel cabinet for it. So that's just really basically the drying oven is what the baking oven that I need.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Well, I'm just going to build it myself out of a toaster oven. You just get a toaster oven and basically kind of cut open the top and just square up some sheet metal, basically just make it into some ductwork and cap it off, then make some hangers inside.
Electric smokers, if you can find one of them cheap, they're usually big to do a, like an AR in, but as far as a bolt action, they may not be. But
Oh yeah, huh? I didn't even think about that. I
'cause
have
that's what
a infrared.
I just happened to run into this, commercial dehydrator for free, so that worked out even better. I just took an oven element and put in the bottom of it and took the control panel off the side and put on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking about doing. But then at G-Webs, I kind of wanted like the temperature control and and just to make it easy. G-Webs found like a toaster oven for like $19 or something. It's like brand new toaster oven, so it has the temperature control, all that. So I was like, huh. Basically, all I need to do is just put in like a little fan to circulate some air, I think. And man, I don't know. It might work for like really cheap because I can basically get my ductwork for free. Toaster oven's $19, and and then just I'll come up with something for hangers. But I don't think it has to be too fancy. It just has to get like 150 degrees and hold it there for 3 or 4 hours, right?
Well, it needs to get a 25 or 250 for steel.
For this actual Cerakote product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe it was Duracoat that was lower temp then.
Now on polymer, you can bake it at 150 for 2 hours or 3 hours. I think I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look because I don't ever I always have to go back and look before I do anything plastic because most everything I do is metal. But I always bake my metal stuff at 300 for an hour, or you can bake it at like 225 to 250 for 2 hours. But I just always do 300 for an hour because my oven will do that hot. And I'm always in a hurry. Because once I get something painted, I want to see what it looks like put back together.
And I've used my oven just for a paint. The lowest it goes is 180. So like pretty much I'll have it like preheated at 180, and then whenever I put something in, I just turn it off, let it naturally cool down until it's like basically room temp. And then whenever that time is, that's when it's done.
Let me answer David out there. He said, what happens if you just let it dry, like air dry, and don't bake it? It pretty much won't cure. It'll be soft forever. Because I've got some on my door in my shop, on the metal door. I just spray on there to set because it's a white door, and I just spray it on there to set my fan on my gun and stuff. So it's got about 1 million different colors on the back side of my door. But you can go up with your fingernail and just touch it and it'll just rub off. It just won't ever cure. They have an air cure Cerakote, but it's not as durable. Ozzy wants to know if we saw his holster he finished on Instagram yesterday. I did. Did you see it? Did we lose Dead Horse?
Oh, I was sitting there talking, and I was muted. I don't know if I did or not. What did he do?
Let's see if I can find it. It's black and it's got the Eye of Horus, a leather holster. Let me see if I can find it real quick and I'll share it. Looks really good. All right, go with Hangouts. See that one? Looks really good.
Oh yeah, that is. Oh yeah, I liked that. I already liked that picture. I didn't notice the eye though, the Egyptian eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
The stitching actually looks really, really good on that.
It does. Did you hand stitch that, Ozzy, or did you do you have a sewing machine? That's my problem with making leather holsters is I'd love to do it, but I am not patient enough to hand stitch something.
Mm.
Which I'm sure once you get started, it doesn't take that long, but it just seems like it does.
I think there's just like anything, there's probably a huge learning curve too.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to find out, you're going to make a bunch of mistakes and then find out, oh, if you do this one little trick, you know, and then it takes you a bunch of renditions before you're like, oh, like this is like the perfect one, right? So it looks to me like he has his process perfected. that looked really, really good.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to do it some, but I just don't think I'm going to hand. He said he hand stitched it all, and I don't think I'm about to do all that. So I'm just probably not going to stay away from leather.
There's nothing like a good piece of leather, though, man. Like I don't mind Kydex and stuff. Like Kydex is cool, but like Kydex only does like only so much. Like nothing. Leathers is so comfy and just. I don't
I
know.
agree. I like it. I just don't know if I'm going to make one myself.
Well, I did, and mine's not even like close to the quality of his and looks near as good, but it works. You know, like it's from far away, it looks good. You know, like, but it works. You know, like if I take the picture of it in just the right lighting in the dark enough room, like people would probably be like, "Oh, that's like a good looking holster." Now, I want to make a couple Kydex holsters.
That's pretty
I,
sweet.
yeah, I watched your video on the press and all that, and so I like your video kind of gave me the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that because there's like a couple holsters I'd like that just companies don't make like certain combos of lights and guns, and you know, so you're pretty much like, oh, I gotta make it myself, right? So
Well, that's why I ever started messing with it. So
do you just when you do that, do you just like put the guns in like a Ziploc bag?
don't do anything to them. I just put some masking tape on them.
Yeah, okay.
And just where I mean, I don't worry about the Kydex touching it because the Kydex is only, 280 or so, and it ain't gonna hurt the finish on the gun or anything. But I've been making some with the leather, like a hybrid version. And I really got where I like carrying those the best.
I've never owned a hybrid holster. I've owned, nylon, Kydex, and leather, and I think I've owned a couple different others like synthetic material type holsters, but like suede and stuff like that. But I don't think I've ever owned like one of the ones you're talking about.
I think. Look.
Isn't that like what the alien gear tuck is or something?
Yeah, which I've actually got an alien gear coming today. As a matter of fact, they're sending me. It's supposed to be delivered today, but
What?
ones I'm making are. I'm trying to see. I thought I had a picture posted, but I posted a million pictures on Instagram since then of one of them I made. Maybe. Maybe not. Got it this way.
Travis P11 came out with a watch video review. Did you watch that watch review he put up?
No, I think I just saw it, but
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either, but I'm going to. An $11 watch.
I don't
I
really
think
wear watches, so
I think he tested in the video too, so I think he like water tests it, maybe smacks it around too.
I found where I made my thumbnail for the video, so I can pull it up anyways. That kind of whole. Let me edit this and get rid of this. Like the leather backing and the Kydex.
Yeah, I think that's much more comfortable than just, Kydex, right?
Oh yeah, it's super comfortable. And then the way, and I kind of copied Celtic holsters when I made my own because I seen theirs. And the clip actually rotates, so you can cant it however you want. It doesn't move once you get it on, but you can, move it to your liking when you're putting it on. And then it allows you to tuck in a shirt if you want to tuck in a shirt with it too.
How's the retention when it only has like one piece of Kydex to kind of hold on to the trigger guard?
Well, when it's inside your waistband, when you're holding up against the leather, it's fine. There's no retention issues. I mean, it's good and solid to pull out because it pushes it into the one side of Kydex. And in the trigger guard, after I got it done, I headed up with a heat gun and just kind of pushed my thumb in there to make it a little extra, more than you would on a regular just Kydex. Now, when it's out of your waistband, it doesn't have any retention to speak of, But when you're wearing it, it's got, it's just like a Kydex. I mean, you can hear it click in and click out.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I'm assuming that the hardware, like the little clips and the little screws, or like what are those? What are they called? Like they're not. It's not a screw, right? Because it's more like a bolt and a nut.
They're Chicago screws.
Chicago screws. So like that hardware can't be that expensive, right?
No, I had a company send me a bunch the other day, which was kind of odd. He sent me an email asking me if he could send me some that he sells on Amazon. He's a brand new company out of St. Louis, and he said, if you like them, all I asked is that you change your Amazon link to mine. Which they were the same price as the ones I was already linking to the ones I was buying. I was like, well, why not change them whenever I got them and they're perfectly fine screws? You want to give me like $100 worth of screws? Shoot, yeah, I'll change my link. But they seem to be, I don't remember, they're $10 for 25 or something of them.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. Oh, and how many do you need? Like I didn't count on your picture there. How many was there? Like 8 or something on a holster?
That one is probably like 8. It just depends on the holster. Let's see if
Yeah. I think I definitely want to get into making my holsters. Like I just bought a Kydex holster from a place called ANR Design or something like that. ANR. And yeah, it was like almost $80, for a piece of Kydex.
It's ridiculous the amount of money they charge for Kydex holsters. Look, there's a lot of time involved, but not if you've got like a vacuum press and the mold guns. If you're doing it commercially, it's nothing time-wise. Let me see, Chicago screws. Why did that not go to that link?
It typed it in somewhere else.
I should open that link. Huh. I may need to fix my link because I told him I'd put that link to it, and that apparently ain't going to it. I don't know why. Oh, crap.
Tell Deadhouse I got the best Kydex holster on the market and didn't have to pay anything for it. You used a piece of PVC pipe and a blow dryer. Oh, people laugh, but I've seen people actually do that and it actually works.
I've seen them that way.
Yeah.
Wildwood Tacticals, this guy that did this, and I need to fix that video and put the right link in there because I thought I had his right link in there, and it's just going straight to Amazon. I told him I did it, and then I guess I lied.
Oh. See, if you're not there to check yourself, who's going to, right?
Yeah.
He obviously didn't. He just took your word on it because he didn't email you saying, hey, So he just took your word for it.
I thought I did. I changed it.
Maybe eBay's up the link. I know that they do that. Oh, see, you got the hookup, huh, David? Where are you at, David? How come you're not in here? I don't see you on gun channels.
Yeah, this guy. Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. At 12 sets that'd be enough to do a holster or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this guy sent me like 5 packages of these. Which you can go to like Tandy Leather and buy them, but it's expensive.
I'm trying to think of what the next holster fad is going to be. Like, what's the next holster fad?
Crown Royal bags, probably.
Oh, I started that 20 years ago. Actually, my dad probably started that 50 years ago.
Of course, now I got to go through and change all the others, but at least get this one changed.
I've carried literally ammo, especially 22 long rifle and Crown Royale bags, since I was 5 years old. No joke. That was, as far as I can remember, Crown Royale bags for 22 rimfire ammo was always the thing. That's how we carried all rimfire ammo. Is you would buy a brick and dump it into the Crown Royale bag and hand it to the kids. Yep.
Okay, now I've got it fixed.
Yep, I watched that video. Now, the thing I liked about your press is if I don't want to keep all that stuff around, it's so cheap and easy to build. I can just build a couple holsters I want and then literally just burn it, except for that foam, right? But it's just 2x4, so I can literally just throw it on my my little fire pit and not feel I'm out something, or that I just have something sitting there taking up space, not being used anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I'm going to do. Is I'm probably just going to build probably just 3 or 4 holsters, I think, and then it'll probably just end up sitting there forever. So then I just might, well, maybe I'll put it up in the attic. We'll see. But I wouldn't mind building at least a couple holsters, because there's this I have a custom light for an HK USP combo that I'll never be able to get anyone to make me a holster for it unless I send them my gun, right? And I don't like the idea of doing that. I don't want to send my gun and everything to a guy just to make a holster across the country or something. No. Let's see. You heard of any news going on?
No, I haven't watched any news. Well, last night I had my stepdaughter and son's 8th grade promotion graduation thing to go to, so I was busy with that all night, and then we went out to eat after that. So
I got sent a thing about a guy. I'm not sure I understand all what's going on with it, because it's the first time I heard about it. But there's apparently a U.S. Navy soldier who I think is maybe already imprisoned, and his lawyer's going in front of Congress today to try and clear his name with like video evidence of him like giving first aid to some Iraqi soldier or something, or ISIS soldier. But I think he was charged with like murder in a war zone or something crazy and like that. And I don't know. It sounds like a real bad situation, but apparently they just really want everyone today to email their representatives and to tell them to, you know, uh, watch the video and listen to the evidence and to contact Representative Duncan Hunter. Tell your representatives to RSVP with Representative Duncan Hunter is what they want you to do. But that's going on today, and apparently, it's a thing that's not being in the media and the news. It's not being thrown out there for everyone to see, and so it sounds like that's important that we do that today to maybe free a innocent man, right? That's probably something pretty important, like and that could be one of us or one of our family members, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to do that. They say that the email to do that is www.house.gov/representatives/find-your-representative. And then you just enter in your zip code, and it'll find your representatives at their local DC office, and then just tell them to RSVP with Duncan Hunter, with Representative Duncan Hunter, and free Eddie. So I'm gonna have to look more into that. I'm gonna look more into that later today and kind of find out the whole backstory and all what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about that yet. Let's see here. uh, Rifle Dynamics has a couple classes coming up, an AK Discovery class and an AK Build class. And I didn't know about the Discovery class. I just barely found out about that, but they pull out a whole bunch of different variants of AKs, all sorts of different variants, and teach you the differences and let you shoot some of them, and you get hands on with them, and so not only you can learn about all the different types and all that, but maybe like help you decide which one you want. So I kind of like the idea of that. So I think I'm going to go take that Fuller Discovery class.
I just got kicked out of my computer, so I just had to jump into my phone. My electric just went off, but it came back on real quick. So I missed everything you said. I think it was still showing me in here, but I wasn't there.
Well, guess what? And the storm you're getting now is like the one that you're going to get next is the worst, is worse. So
Great.
So that one's like the baby one. The next one that comes through, that's the one with the real high winds and the real bad lightning.
It's not even windy or lightning here. I don't know why the power blinked. It's just raining, but the power blinked. And of course, now I got to wait on my computer to reboot and all that. So I thought, well, I'll jump in on my phone real quick.
I need to find out about the battery pack. Now that I have business internet, I got a new modem, and I'm supposed to be able to buy some battery for it. So then if the power goes out, like the internet stays on.
Well, see, my problem is when the power goes out and stays out or anything, our internet's a tower to tower, like line of sight internet, because I live in the middle of nowhere. But they have towers up, and the tower's like 2 miles away. So if my internet goes, or if my electric's down, their electric's probably down at the tower. So therefore, I'm not getting nothing. And my mobile internet data sucks at my house. Barely have phone service where I live.
Wait, what's that like?
Do what?
What's your data like out there?
On my cell phone, absolutely terrible.
Just like non-existent, no 3G or 4G or any of that kind of stuff.
I've got 3G here. If I go like 2 miles up the road, I hit 4G. But there's only like one service provider that actually works at my house, which is a regional US Cellular, and so that's what I have it through. But like AT&T or Verizon won't even. You can't even talk on it. At least US Cellular, I can talk on it all the time.
Well, we just barely had fiber optic come through, my small town, right? So I think that fiber optics is pretty much spreading everywhere, and pretty soon even the most remote places are going to have fiber optic.
Yeah, well, see, my electric company offers fiber optic, but our area was supposed to be the next area back in August, but they got overrun. I guess they didn't realize how many people were going to want to sign up for it when they did it, and now they're way behind. So, well, at first they told me last spring, then they said last August, now they said this spring, and now they're not
They
even
milk it
saying
because they
anything.
get government funding. They get like they get like a government funding, so they milk the shit out of that. They did the same thing here. We were supposed to have fiber optic in here a year before it was actually put in because they did the exact same thing, dude. Then they exact same excuses.
But yeah, I can get 1,000 up and 1,000 down for $100 a month through them, plus free TV included. But it's got to get here first, and it's literally 3 miles from me. So I'm just waiting on that because I pay almost that a month now, and I have like 10 down and 5 or 7 up, and it's not real reliable because it's just tower to tower.
That's still not bad. That should be like good enough to hold to like stream movies and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I've only had this for 4 or 5 years. Before that, we was using, a US Cellular hotspot, so that was terrible, but it was better than nothing, better than dial-up. But whenever they came out and put this in, I was thrilled with it. I mean, it was amazingly fast compared to that, because you couldn't watch Netflix or anything on that.
Oh, and David out there is mentioning that Trump pardoned a soldier the other day. Yeah, that was a different soldier, I think. And that soldier, a couple of his buddies got killed in a like IED on the side of the road or something, and then he caught the guy or something that was responsible. He thought or thinks or whatever, took him down instead of like his orders were to like bring him back to the base, but instead, he took him down to like a railroad culvert, like basically, like a middle of nowhere place. It sounded like to interrogate him. So it sounded like he took him down there to beat him up, right, to get some payback. But then the guy like tried to escape and attacked him with like a piece of concrete. So then he killed the guy in self-defense, right? So he got charged with like murder in a combat zone and like 25 years. In prison, and then that was reduced to 15 years in prison, and then he served 6, like from 2008 to 2014, and then he got released in 2014. So this guy that Trump pardoned was already released out of jail or out of prison. He was still on probation because he had like 10 years of probation. So he was still on probation, but he was already out of jail and everything. And like this is like that, this was going all the way back to 2008 to 2014. So he's been out of jail for 5 years, the guy that Trump pardoned. So, but at least he won't have 5 more years of probation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Trump pardons you, if that wipes your record or not. Like I don't know how that works.
I think it does. I think you're completely clear then, like it never happened.
So I read that story, that's what I thought this story was about, this soldier, and I was like, wait, like going in front of a thing, and I was like, wait, I thought Trump did but no, that was a whole different soldier. So and surprisingly enough, we never hear about that kind of stuff on mainstream news.
Yeah. Well, I finally got my computer all back up. Now the electric will probably blink again and kick me out again. Oh, so I got an interesting little story.
Shoot.
So on Monday, I went to Academy. Turn my camera. And I bought one of these little cheap Magpul, stocks. No big deal. So I get home, open the box. The box that I bought is glued shut, like sealed shut here. So I thought, well, that's just how they do it. It's, a new box. Open it. And this, of course, this is mine off mine, but this is completely wrapped. The stock's completely wrapped in plastic. Looks brand new. I got to open it and look at it, and it looks identical to this. A DPMS stock in the box. I was like, what? You're kidding me. So I call Academy, and I'm like an hour from Academy. So I call them and talk to the manager guys. I just wanted to let you know I got this, and it won't be till tomorrow until I can bring it back. But he's like, oh, yeah, that happens all the time here. Like, no big deal. And I get back there, and the guy at the customer service desk, he's like thinking I did it. I'm like, no, dude, I called the manager yesterday. So then anyway,
And he's like, it happens here all the time. Like, what do they not check when people bring stuff back that like the right spot's in the box?
Yeah, well, the box was glued shut. So whoever did this took all this time. I mean, you could see where I ripped the glue on each side of these on the box. I was like, whoever did this took all this time. They wrapped it back into plastic, put the paperwork on top of it, and glued the box shut to make sure that nobody opened it.
Damn. That was probably an employee, dude. I bet he was probably an employee. Probably. Dude.
But the was super nice about it. He's like, oh, man, and just kept apologizing to me. He's like, yeah, it happens here.
Or they do that so when they take it back, the person doesn't check to make sure that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was brand new because the box was sealed. A lot of boxes you get are glued, so I didn't think anything about it. They're like, well, do you just want your money back? I'm like, no, I don't want my money back. I just want swap it. But I'm like, who does that for? It was like $33. I mean, what's the point?
Well, it gives all of us a black eye, though. Someone has a new stock, but it gives all of us a little bit of a black eye every time that happens. Because that's a fellow gun owner out there. Well, at least maybe we can hope that he was really an airsoft guy, right? Maybe, yeah that's right. We'll just say that he was an airsoft kid. That's what it was.
I mean, come on. For $33, you have to go to all that much work. I was frustrated. Because then I had to drive back yesterday, exchange it.
An hour.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I was already going by there, but still. By that general area. But still, it was frustration. So it took me an extra day to get it on there. And then I had to spend more money when I went back.
What did you buy extra the second time you went back?
That's exactly what it is. I bought a bunch more ammo the second time I went back. So they probably did it on purpose. They said, this fool will come back and buy more ammo.
Yep. That's funny. I've done that too. Like you have to go back to a store, it turns out, and then you go back and then you end up buying more stuff. You never even planned on.
Yeah. Well, it's like, my wife notices if I spend, $100 at Academy one time, but if I spend 50 each time, she won't notice so much. So
I really haven't had that happen to me with like the wrong stuff being in packages, except I bought a tent once, and a brand new tent at Walmart, like a real big, like two, like not two person, but like two family tent, right? Like connected with like a tunnel, right? Like it was like two different tents, like connected with a little tunnel. And so this big, huge tent, I think it was like $200 or something. I like get all the way out to like, it didn't even open it, nothing. Like we needed it for this camping trip. We get all the way out camping and go to open it up and everything. And this old, like moldy, canvasy, it was actually like a really nice tent, like really nice, just old and mildewy and smelly, like, used one that someone had put in there, right? And it was like huge, but it wasn't the right one. That's the only time that I had ever had that happen to me, really.
Well, this is the second time it happened to me. The first time was on one of those swimming pools with the metal frame, but they're like the stand up in a few hour swimming pools. It was like a 20-foot or 18-foot pool. It was a huge one we bought that year. Anyways, we get home and it's like a cheapo small one, different brand and everything in the box. And the box was all taped up just like, you'd think it was brand new. Oh, I was ticked. And that was from Walmart. But they were like, oh, yeah, no big deal. We just took it back, swapped us out. I was frustrated with that because we got it all the way out of the box. And I didn't even put it back in the box when we took it back. We threw it in the back of the Suburban and just put it in a cart whenever we got there. Whoever returned it took all this time to put it back in the box and roll it up. And that's not an easy feat.
The other times I've had that happen to me, it's like it wasn't like that. Like they were trying to pass one over on you. It's like you buy something, on eBay, like, oh, like a Magpul stock on eBay, but then they send you a fake Magpul stock. Like it looks like the real one, but it's airsoft version, And I've had people try and pass off on both Amazon, eBay, and even some so-called reputable sellers, or businesses, and then they claim, oh, we didn't know, our distributor sent it to us, right? But I've had them try to pass off fake Magpul trigger guards and stocks and hand guards and grips and just sights, everything Magpul makes, really. Slings.
I bought a set of Magpul sights off eBay and they were fake. But I still used them. They weren't terrible, but you can tell they're not as good as, I've got real Magpul ones on one, and I thought I was going to save $10 and buy this set on eBay. You can definitely tell they're not real, but they're fine. But I wouldn't have paid, I could have bought fake ones for $10 cheaper than that.
Well, Magpul was genius about their cloning and copies. They saw that that it was being copied and all that, and that there is really nothing they could do about it, right? Like literally nothing. Like they tried to fight it for a little while, and then they're like, oh, you know what? We're just gonna go buy one of the factories that are like making the fakes, and then we're going to make a licensed fake, right? Like just for airsoft, like PTS, and that's what they did. And so now they make like a cheap enough fake to compete with the fakes, is what they did, right? But that's still has the real Magpul name on it now, right? So like Magpul was ingenious way, like, oh, you think you're gonna undercut us and dip into our pockets? Actually, no, we're gonna come back and dip into your pockets, and like that's what Magpul did. It like did it ingeniously, and and a lot of other companies have followed suit since then. By creating actual licensed, airsoft, versions of their products, all still made in China, but now they're, dipping into the real knockoff stuff, right? The stuff that doesn't have permission, that ain't paying royalties or licensing,
Sure.
And the Magpul PTS stuff isn't that bad. So I have an official PTS sling, and then I have a knockoff sling, and I have a real Magpul sling. And when you compare all three of them together, they're all MS2s. And when you compare all three together, the PTS one and the real Magpul one, like it's really, really hard to tell the difference between the two. But the real knockoff is like it's not even comparable. You can tell like, oh, this thing's just, the cheapest, most garbage thing they could make that just kind of look like it. That just resembled it. There was no thought of quality or anything or longevity or anything put into it. Like they literally are just like, if we kind of make it look like it and it lasts for like a day or two, that's all we need.
Hey, hold on a second.
let's see here. Oh, that school shooting in Denver. Last I heard about that was that, yeah, like 8. I don't think anyone died. 8 people got shot. And they caught the 2 guys, 1 adult, 1 kid, but I didn't hear anything after that. I don't know if I want to either. Gosh. I think there was a second school shooting somewhere else yesterday.
Oh, have you ever used any of the Dagger Defense stuff?
Dagger Defense. I don't think so.
I mean, I think it's cheap Chinese optic stuff, but I mean, they're a U.S. company and, you know, supposedly veteran owned and stuff, but they're just importing, you know, Chinese stuff with their name on it. But it seems pretty good. They sent me this site and then the flip up sites, but is this going to harm it in any way? I had to scoot it so far forward. Part of it's on my rail.
No.
I didn't think it would because of their flip up sight. You can't turn their flip up sight backwards like you can the Magpul, you know, to go on the back.
Huh. No, it should be. Yeah, I have a couple like that. Especially on rails that don't have like anti-rotation built into them. So I'll have like just the very front of a mount of a red dot or a scope just barely peeking up onto that front rail. You're not supposed to, you know, because people will be like, oh, it can, you know, do this, do that, but as long as most of it's on the receiver and just a little bit's on that front rail, like I kind of like it like that on certain rails, and I don't know, it makes me feel more secure that it's not going to rotate or anything. It's like an extra little lock on there, but I haven't noticed any kind of impact shifts or any kind of weird stuff when it gets hot or anything by having it like that. So,
well, I've never had to run one this way, but the way this sight sets and this, I can't get it quite back far enough. It rubs whenever I try to pop up the sight. It rubs the tail of the red dot. Now their iron sights, they seem really nice. And they even sent me red, so it kind of matches my gun. But they're, you know, anodized aluminum. They seem pretty decent. The red dot doesn't seem bad at all. It's visible in daylight, so that's better than the Chinese one I have on the high point.
and if you put that rear sight the other way, does it interfere with the charging handle?
No, I didn't like how I guess I could take it apart and flip these. I could do that. I could take it all the way apart and turn these around. But
there's 3 different apertures in it.
It's got 2 apertures, but they're convexed in, I guess you'd say. But I guess I could take it apart and flip them.
Exactly. So they're on the wrong side. Chinese is famous for that, for the glare, because you want that convex side being on the right side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're saying. So yeah, so you can take it apart and flip it. I've I've seen that several times. Sometimes neither side will have that convex side, and they'll just both be pure flat, right? So you get glare off of it, and then you can take a drill bit and drill it yourself, and then like touch it up with some like true black or something. But yeah, like Chinese sites are famous for that. Like, yep.
Yeah, but I got thinking I could take it apart, unscrew it, and flip it the other way. But I may just leave it alone. I like where the red dot sets whenever I throw it up. It's in a nice, you know, I mean, it feels good or good.
One thing too, like on some of the, I don't know what MOA that dot is, but if it's a larger, like 5 MOA dot, the farther you get it out there, the smaller the dot is to you now, away from your eye. So it can make a bigger dot work for you. You know what I mean?
This is one with the options. It's got a 2 MOA dot. And then the circle with the dot in it. I don't remember what size the circle is. And then it's got the crosshairs with the dot and the circle crosshairs and dot, you know. I don't remember what size all those are. I'd have to look. But the dot I know is a 2 MOA.
Oh, yeah, 2. Now, one thing about those, so since that has the different reticles, most of those will use like 2 or 3 different LEDs. emitters to project those reticles, right? And the LEDs are basically glued together, kind of in a cluster, right? So when you look at it, it looks like one LED, but it's really not. So when you sight in your gun and then you go through and start switching reticles, your point of impact will be off. So pick the reticle you like best, sight it in, and then never touch it again, ever. Like for real. Like just.
Well, I've never had one. Well, I take that back. That stupid one I have on a high point, but that one doesn't count. It has the same deal, but I've never had one on a rifle that has a goofy different reticles. All mine's just been a dot.
Yeah, and it's the same one on that high point. Those will actually work and keep 0 as long as you don't mess with the reticle. You sight it in, pick one, sight it in, then never mess with it again, and then it'll actually work. But as soon as you're like, switching reticles back and forth, like you'll never find you'll never have a consistent point of impact, point of aim.
But I ain't gonna complain. They sent it to me for free to try, so I thought.
Put it through its paces, and maybe and if it craps out, then maybe you can give them some good feedback, and then they'll make a better product, right? Like that's the ideal thing, I think. I think that'd be like the ideal situation is they that's what companies should be doing with when they're sending stuff for T&E and stuff is really listening to that feedback, especially when something goes wrong, and be like, how can we make this better? How can we make this not happen? Looking at other news of today. Do you think Magpul will ever make guns or just stick to accessories? They have made guns. So they made a special ops CIA type briefcase gun. And that wasn't made as a joke. That was like a legit thing. And that briefcase gun unfolded out into a gun. That was that's a real thing. And so they have definitely made guns and fool around with all sorts of stuff. I don't think that Magpul is going to make a product for anyone unless there's a large profit margin in it and they're going to sell a lot of it, right? And there's a lot of potential market for it. I don't think they're going to come out with a bolt action rifle to compete with everyone else's bolt action rifle, right? I don't think they're going to come out with an AR to compete. They're going to have to see a market and be like, oh, there's a real big market for this right now, and we can make something better than anyone else can right now in this market. So we'll dominate it. That's the markets Magpul goes after. I mean, for real. So I don't see them competing with Glock and polymer handguns. I don't see them competing with any of that kind of stuff. But I see them doing real unique special project guns for the government and stuff as more fun and probably shits and giggles and and stuff like that, because they just probably have more money than what they know what to do with. But public guns for the public, maybe. Like I said, they're gonna have to see they're gonna have to see a market for it. I don't think they're gonna compete with jump into a market against Glock or jump into a market against Remington or something. I don't see them all tackling those guys.
Well, that's a good way that one of the most profitable businesses out there could go bankrupt too, is jumping into something and spending, it costs them millions of dollars to get into mass production of
USFA
firearms. Yeah. And then, right now they're just making money, and then they could cause them to lose so much money they wouldn't know what to do. I noticed something.
You look at USFA, right? USFA made the best single action handguns, revolvers, all the guys who shot like the single action like cowboy shoots and the SAS Society and all that, the USFAs were the guns to get. Everyone loved them. Super well made, super good quality, reasonably priced. Like they were the guns to get. What did USFA do? They came out with a gun called the Zip 22. That was garbage. And they put a whole bunch of time and focus and money into a garbage little 22, and it ruined a very profitable, awesome business. That's the truth. Like, like it ruined an entire company by making some gun that like there wasn't even like what they did. It wasn't even close to what they did or what they were good at. They tried to venture into some new market and invested too much money, got way too over their head, and they didn't know when to quit. They're like, we can't quit, right? I'm not a quitter, and that whole company's just lost now because of it. A great company that made great guns.
So I just noticed something about this flip up sight. Maybe they're all that way, but I don't think the Magpul is. I'd have to go look. But the convex part of it, whether I put it on backwards or forwards, one of them's wrong either way. They face each other.
Chinese is famous for that, dude. Like they don't understand. I mean, like you're talking about a 5-year-old kid in a factory pulling a handle on a drill press to make that convex, right? Like, So they're famous for that, man. Like,
but if I put it on backwards, the big hole doesn't have one, and that's probably the one that doesn't matter. And the small hole has it right, so that's probably the way I'll leave it because it makes more sense to have it on the small hole. The big hole's not gonna, you're not gonna get such a glare off it.
You are exactly right.
So I just changed it. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to move that red dot back before I go sight this in. It needs to quit raining so I can.
You don't shoot in the rain?
I don't like being out there in the rain. I have, but I'm not going to go sight in a rifle in the rain and sit down in it.
I love going and shooting at the outdoor range in the rain because I'll be the only guy there. Even though it's like covered, right? Like even though you got cover, like no one like dude, if it's a rainy day or a rainy crappy day, like no one goes. Like everyone's just like, nope, I'm not walking out in the mud to go set up a target and just dealing with the wind and the rain and like so like dude, I'm covered. While I'm sitting there, I'm dry. Only when I go walk to put out a target am I going to get wet, right? I got an umbrella or whatever. But like I'm the only guy there usually, like on rainy days, so I love to go out and shoot in the rain.
Well, I've been going to little like shed thing to shoot out of or under, but I haven't done it yet. So I've got all the material to do it, just haven't done it. So I'm not going out there and sitting in it.
Just get one of those like little easy up things, those like kind of
little canopies.
Yeah. That's what we need more of is ranges in this country.
No, I decided I'm going to that class, and it's mainly a pistol class, but they're doing some rifle stuff. I thought, I'll take an AR, and I was trying to decide which one to take, and I decided to take this one that I've got painted all fancy, the red battle one, just because it's pretty and looks good, but it was, other than the trigger and stuff and charging handle, there wasn't anything done to it at all. So I thought, well, I'll put a stock and a grip and stuff on it. And then they sent me this stuff, so I took the red dot I had on it off and put that on there just to try.
You'll have to let me know how that red dot holds up.
Yeah, well, I'm fixing to go take a class with it. They were supposed to shoot 500 rounds, so we'll see if it makes it through 500 rounds.
Then that will be a test, because usually cheap optics won't make it not even 500 rounds. Usually if they're gonna live, they're gonna break before that, or they're gonna live through that. And a one or the other.
And it's like I think it's like $40 is all it is on Amazon. So it's pretty cheap.
And that's all Bushnell TRS 25s now are now and stuff. So, and those work for the most part.
I tell you what, cheap optic I've had good luck with, and that's the True Glow.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Yep, you and me both.
The one I
got
had
a
on this
couple
gun
True
was
Glows. Fantastic.
the one I had on this gun was a 2-powered red dot, magnified. And I had that thing. I've had this gun forever. This is like my first AR since I sold my first AR when I got divorced. So I gave more for this cheap DPMS AR in like 13 than I gave for my one with all really good parts in it a couple years ago. Or the one I built with all really good parts in it.
Nope. I love True Glows. They work great. I have one on a piston gun that has 8 other red dots. So I don't know. I can't complain about them. They work great. I also have a BSA that's been on almost every gun I've ever made that I've ever had. A BSA red dot. I have this like BSA red dot that literally, like, when I build a new gun, before I get a chance to buy an optic or a scope, because that's usually one of the last things I buy for when I build or buy a gun. So that red dot goes on every gun until I get something, right? I go out, test fire the gun with it on, shoot the gun with it on. So that gun's been on that red dot's been on everything. That BSA red dot. And I want to say I paid like $40 for that thing or something. And that BSA red dot it's probably 12 years old now, probably maybe even older than that. It's old. It just works. It keeps on going on like a tank. But the True Glows, I've had great luck with. Millet, good luck with. What other cheap red dots? Field Sport, I've had good luck with. What other cheap red dots have I had good luck with? I don't know. Not so much Vortex. I can't really recommend Vortex.
Really, I've got a Strike Fire too. I like that one.
That's the one I've had the problems with.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on my third one.
The only thing I don't like about it is the size of the dot. It's got a big dot, like a 4 MOA dot or 5 MOA dot. It seems big.
Yeah, it's the first one would turn on and off shooting, right? Like you'd shoot and then it'd turn on, shoot, turn off, shoot, turn on. Replaced the battery, did everything, and that happened like pretty much like right away within like 100 or 200 rounds on a 7.62 by 39 AR. And sent it back to Vortex. They sent me another one. That one broke. Then they sent me a third one, and before I put the third one on the gun, I sold it. I was like, nope, I'm done with Vortex. And then I kind of talked crap about them for a while, and a Vortex rep guy saw it and gave me a discount on one to try and win me back. And so then I bought a third Vortex Strike Fire 2, and I put it back on that same 7.62 by 39 gun, and I have probably almost close to probably 700 or 800 rounds now through it, and this third one's held up. But he told me that they did have an issue on those a known issue on those Strike Fire 2s, and that they worked it out, right? That they resolved the issue, but there was a known issue with those things. And a couple other people I know had those exact same ones on a gun, and it either did the exact same thing mine did. It would either turn on and off when you'd shoot, or it would just turn off and then never turn back on again.
How long ago got the bad one?
Oh, several years ago.
I've had mine, I guess, 2 years, and I've had real good luck with it. But I thought I've shot it quite a bit.
Well, you probably got one of the good ones, like
Yeah. Well, like anything, there's good and bad, I guess.
well,
But
you probably got one of the ones like right after they fixed the issue, right?
yeah.
Yeah. There's someone I can't remember who it was, but someone here on Gun Channels bought one too, right? And they put it on a 308 AR, which is it's supposed to be rated for 308 just fine, right? But they put it on like an AR-10 and went out. I think on the very first shot, it broke and like turned off and never came back on, like on their very first shot on a 308. So they had to send it back too. So I heard even from people on gun channels that had the exact same thing. They had the same issue, and then the rep told me they had the same issue. And but the new one I got, like I said, I got like 700 rounds of 7.62 by 39 on it, which isn't like you know recoil punishing, but it's probably more of a test than 5.56. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I almost put my Vortex on this one, and then Tiger Defense sent me that one. I thought, well, I'll take that one. Because I wasn't going to take the 2 MOA. This one had a 2 MOA dot, or a 2 MO, or 2-time magnification red dot on it, and I wasn't going to use that for that class. I wanted a single magnification. And so I was going to put the Vortex on here, and then they sent me that. Which my rifle that hangs above my bed, I've got an aim point. What is it? A Pro Patrol, maybe something like that. I
Aim
love
Point
that.
Pro?
It's like $439, but
Yeah, the Aim Point Pro. That's what's on my end of the world gun.
yeah, I mean that's the one that I keep on that gun, and I love
Yep.
that dot. It has like a 2 MOA dot, so I really like it. But that's the only thing I dislike about this Strike Fire 2 is the big dot.
Well, you can turn the brightness down, and then I think the green, because yours goes green too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the green in doesn't have like such a starburst effect outside, right? So when you're outside, the green dot won't look as big as the red. Like looking at like normal stuff, I think is what I noticed with it. And I put it all the way towards the front of my receiver because it comes with that like built-in like cantilever mount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much put it all the way at the very end of the upper receiver, as far out as I could get, just like to get it away from my eye, really, and that helps make the dot smaller.
Yeah, but you get back to like 100 yards and your dot's covering a huge target.
Yeah, but what kind of if it's so that 4 MOA is supposed to use like if they're doing their job right, whatever MOA a dot says on it should be at the medium setting, at the middle setting. Okay. So if you got like a 10 position rheostat and it says 4 MOA dot, then at position 5, or be somewhere between 5 or 6, like right about there, should be like the 4 MOA dot. Like that's where it should be, a real 4 MOA dot. And you go up to 10, that's where that 4 MOA dot now can be like 6 or 7 or 8 MOA even. It can literally double just from 6 to 10. Or you go down to 2 or 3, and that 4 MOA dot can now be like really a 2 MOA dot. And but then the problem with that is with different brightness levels, outside light and stuff like that, you might not be able to see that 2 MOA dot, or at night you turn it up way bright and like, oh well, now that 8 MOA is so bright it just washes everything out of your reticle, right? So um if they're doing their job right at the medium setting, that should be the real 4 MOA. And so sticking it all the way out at the end of your rail, or not at the end of your rail, but the end of your upper receiver, and then maybe maybe not shooting nose to charging handle, like kind of pulling back a little bit will help. And then still 4 inches, even if you're on the medium setting, 4 inches at 100 yards, that's still a good defensive rifle. Yeah, it's not going to win any accuracy awards, but it's still, I would call that still more than adequate at 100 yards, 150 yards, so 4 inch. I want to be worried about it.
Oh yeah, and I've got a lot of coyotes and stuff with it, and never had an issue. But Have you seen any of the Swamp Force optics? You ever heard of them?
Yeah, I have, and I think it's Green Blob Outdoors or something.
I don't know. I talked to him at NRA and played with it a little. I really like that. I want a 1-6 or something. I'd like to have a 1-8, but at least a 1-4, 1-6 scope for one of my ARs. I don't have one on anything. The lowest power one I got's a 3 on.
So if you're gonna get a 1-6 or a 1-4, do yourself a favor and only get a first focal plane.
I'm pretty sure those were first focal plane, but
Because
they have
the first focal
primary
plane.
arms optics in them.
Yeah,
Like,
if it's
that
the first.
remind you of theirs, the reticle. I mean,
Yeah.
let me look
The
it
first focal plane. If it's a first focal plane like 1-4 or 1-6, and if it's a true, what really matters is it a true 1-4 or 1-6, and not like a 1.25 or because sometimes they lie to you, right? And that can be weird for two eye open shooting. At least for me, it is. If there's any magnification in one eye and not in the other, I can't shoot both eye open. I just can't.
Oh no, there's the second focal plane.
Okay, see see with first focal plane, when you turn it like especially with an illuminated reticle, when you turn it all the way down onto 1, so you're using it like a red dot, it is like a red dot. You turn on that illuminated reticle and that reticle shrinks down real small, and it just to you it looks like a red dot, like an EOTech reticle, like with a red dot with the circle around it. It's just like using a red dot. But then when you crank that magnification up, your reticle grows and everything, and you got your bullet drop compensation, and you got your hash marks for your drops, and all your information's in that reticle, and you can reach out to your longer distances. So I'm a big fan of like for those lower powered 1-4 or 1-6 a first focal plane optic. If you're going like with a 24 power optic or something, usually then you're always using those at the higher 24 power. Then it doesn't matter if it's first or second focal. But on those low range scopes, I think first focal plane is the absolute way to go. And if you're looking for a budget scope for first focal plane, go to Monstrum Tactical. They probably have some of the best deals and best first focal plane scopes I've seen for the money for entry level first focal plane. When they're on sale for about $150, you can get into one. They're nicer ones are $300-400, but for about 150 you can get into one, and that's about the bottom grade I would even consider going for a first focal plane. It's probably one of theirs.
Yeah, these are around 300, I think. 269 for a 1-4.
Yeah, and usually those don't have the same type of on the second focal plane when you're trying to use it. In my experience, when you crank it all the way down and you're trying to use it like a red dot, the reticle's really big and bright, right? And it can wash out a lot of stuff in the lighting's like just a much more relevant because there's just so much reticle there that's lit up usually, and it blocks way more of your view, and you're trying to use it as a red dot up close, and it's just like blocking up a lot of stuff. It's obscuring a lot of stuff. There's a lot of light coming. It's just you can do it, but it's just not like a first focal plane. A first focal plane is just so nice because when that reticle literally shrinks, and it's like you don't even know it's there anymore. You just think it's a red dot. Like, you know what I mean? And then you crank that power up to 6 or 8 or whatever, and like boom, you got all your information there. Like, it's awesome.
What was the one you said?
Yeah, what's that? A Monstrum Tactical?
Monster?
Monstrum. So like Monstrum. And then I would just go like to their actual website. Yeah, there you go. Now that's the second focal plane there, but if you go to other scopes, like if you go up top to their optics and then first focal plane, so that like a 1:4 for 150 right there, that's the one right there I would get into, or the 1:6 next to it.
I'll probably do a one.
Yep. Like those ones are actually going to work and actually have a good reticle and are actual, I would say, quality, you know what I mean, that are actually going to hold up and withstand a drop, and you know what I mean, good glass, clear. It's not like, I'm sure they're made in China or somewhere, Philippines, right? But it's not like the same quality. It's like a more of a Vortex or Primary Arms Chinese quality. You know what I mean? It's probably coming right out of the same factory as Primary Arms. That's what I think anyway. But I can't confirm that. But the one I got's the 4-14. If you go down, it was just showing it a little bit lower. And it's awesome, dude. It is absolutely awesome for the money. The 4-14. Yeah, I got that 4-14 on sale for Black Friday for 150. But awesome scope. And I'm gonna buy one of the 1-6s. I'm gonna wait till they go on sale again, because I think the 1-4s were like 119 and the 1-6s were like 139 on Black Friday. So I'm just gonna wait this next year till Black Friday because they had good sales, and then pick up another scope or two. And sign up for their email thing too, because they always have different specials and stuff. And they have some tiny, if you have a little PDW gun, they have some tiny little flashlights I love it for little tiny like AR pistols and stuff, because it's not like a big bulky light. It's just like a little 120 lumen light that doesn't weigh nothing, doesn't take up any room. It's I love them.
Never even heard of them before.
Yeah, so I bought flashlights from this place. I've got a couple scopes from them now. I got a couple scope mounts. Yeah, so they have some of these little flashlights here, right? And some of them have built-in like key mod and stuff, but like pretty much like the ones that you're looking at. Let me see, the 100 and ultra compact, like those ones. Some of those, or like the top left one for 16.95. Yeah. So that one is so damn small and tiny. It's unreal. Like you can't really tell from that picture, but like the thing's like 1.5 inches long. That light is. It's just it's super small, man. I love it. For like a little 9mm AR pistol, or just like any AR pistol, or just small little compact subguns, stuff like that, PDWs. That light's just perfect. I love it. My son has a 3x9 second focal plane from these guys on his rifle. My son that's going into the Army here in a month. That's what he's been using on his rifle, is a 3x9 second focal plane I got for him. And that scope, I got that scope on sale for like $50 or something. And that scope's a nice scope. It is. It's a nice scope. It's a good scope. They feel heavy too. When you get the scopes, they're not like super lightweight or anything. They don't feel cheap. Like there's some weight to them. I wouldn't say they're like overly heavy, but like they're like I don't know about you, but weight to me is like quality, right? Like when I feel stuff that's heavy, I'm like, oh, this is more robust quality.
Yeah, there's why I don't know Primary Arms. They're talking about Primary Arms in there. They're spendy, and I'm poor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I shit you not. I think they come out of the same factory, dude. Like it is probably the blems. They're probably blems. Like it is probably like the glass that didn't pass primary arms, like specification, but was like still good enough to put in something else. I really think that they're probably coming out of the same place. Because there's like 5, 6 other scope companies that that I'm almost positive all their stuff's coming out of the exact same factory.
Oh no, I really like that Swamp Fox stuff, but it's all second focal plane. You're saying I should get a first?
Well, no, dude, second focal plane works. I got tons of those scopes. They
No,
work.
I take your word for it. I'm just saying. I played with them and I really thought they were pretty good quality.
If you've never tried a first focal plane 1-4 or 1-6, I think once you'll try one, you'll never go back. You'll never be like, oh, I want a second focal plane 1-4, like I don't know anyone that's like gone back once they've like tried the first focal plane. Like I said, in the larger magnification optics, that usually doesn't matter because you're just usually always on your highest magnification. But the good thing about these is that you can use them as a red dot on a 1 power and then still crank up to 6 or 8 or 4 or whatever to reach out. But when it's on 1 power, now it's just like a red dot. You got a really open reticle. You don't have anything obscuring it. You don't got a bunch of garbage in there and a bunch of light that's going all the way from the top and bottom and left and right all the way across, because that whole huge reticle is not lit up. And they usually have the first focal plane usually has more generous eye relief by about an inch, I've noticed, than most second focal planes. So that's another thing too. You don't have to have your eye like just right up on it. I don't know about you, but I like generous eye relief on my optics. I don't like my eye squished right up to something. That's why I don't like the ACOGs. Their eye relief just sucks. Sorry, Trijicon, but they know it's true.
So they don't even show actual powered scopes in here. They had a bunch. Maybe that's something new. They had a bunch of like up to 16 and 24 power scopes. All right.
You know what I would do is I would just email and be like, hey, I'm a content creator reviewer. Like, send me one for T&E. And then actually I would say send me 2 for T&E, one to do a torture test on, and then one to review and keep for my trouble and ammo costs and stuff, right? And then so I'd straight up be like, I'll straight up with them, send me 2. I'm gonna destroy one or attempt to destroy one. If I don't destroy it, I'll give it away to like a subscriber or something, and then the other one's like for me, for my cost of ammo and all the stuff to putting together the video, and yeah, and for what it costs them, since it's actually their stuff, like yeah, they'd probably be all down for that.
This one reminds me a lot in person of a little Romeo, but it's not any cheaper by any means. I really like the Sig Romeo. I don't own one, but I've shot one quite a bit, and I've had good luck with it. The one I've shot, I liked it. I think it's a Romeo. I think I'm right.
Yep. That's what my wife has on her gun, is a Romeo. Yes, she has Sig optics on both her guns.
Trying to remember what he has.
I don't think I own any Sig optics, but she does. She has one on each of her guns. That's what she went with. And she had to be better than me. You have a brace on sale for $75 with a buffer tube kit. What?
I didn't notice that.
FDE brace. It's the older style, but with the tube. And Castle Nut and $75. Hey, that's still a good deal for. Those are still good braces.
Oh yeah.
Like it's still a brace.
You're talking Shockwave prices for a brace, a SIG brace.
With tube and everything, yeah.
I think that's the one he has that I shot a bunch.
Oh yeah, that's the popular one. That's the one that's always like $109
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
I think that's the one Holosun makes.
It seemed like a really nice little optic. But that one that Swamp Fox had, I thought reminded me a lot of it. And it's, of course, that was MSRP on theirs, and MSRP on this one's like $2 something. So I'm sure it'll be cheaper too. But because it was like $179 or something, I think.
Well, I think optics have been around for so long and the technology is getting so good. I think companies are definitely able to make a red dot at a cheaper price that's able to hold up, that's able to be a decent dot, right?
Well, this one is an iProtect from Academy. I bought it because it was on sale for $40 just to put on this little AR pistol. But like I said, I've just built this pistol as cheap as humanly possible anyways. This is the one that has the fake mag pulls on it that I got off eBay, thinking I was getting a bargain. But this little side's nice, but I didn't realize this whenever I got it. I don't know if I can get the camera. I can try to get the show. All right,
Oh yeah,
it's not a dot.
Yeah, it's a cross, right?
Crosshair. Yeah. I didn't realize that whenever I got it, but I mean it's fine. And like I said, this rifle ain't used for nothing but clinking, anyways. But
on my little clone rifle I built, that's all built out of like Chinese parts and stuff. That has an NC Star red dot on it that I got for like $22 or something, and that thing works. I can't, like, if it hasn't broken yet and I've like beat the crap out of it, like how can you fault it? Like, I don't know.
I was really shocked with this one, and after I bought it, I just bought it on a whim because I was standing there and they had it. And I put it on this 300 pistol, and I thought, it's probably not going to hold up. And then I came home and read some reviews on it, and it's like, everybody's griping about it. But man, I put probably, I don't know, maybe only about 200 rounds through it so far. But still, it hasn't lost zero after that many. 300 on a pistol. Not real easy on it, but it's not nothing harsh, but still. I don't think I'd put it on my end of the world rifle.
No, not at all. But I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, some people, I don't know, some people have that problem of understanding that like not every gun's like a self-defense gun or end of the world rifle and stuff, and that a lot of us own guns that are just nothing but pleasure and toys, and and that we can't afford to necessarily put an Aimpoint Pro on all of our rifles, right?
Yeah.
Like if me and you could, we would have Aimpoint Pros on all of them, right? But we,
I have $10,000 worth of optics on them.
Exactly. Like, I wish I could put an Aimpoint Pro on everything, but I can't. So I have an Aimpoint Pro on like my go-to rifle, but like other toys and range toys and stuff, they get stuff like Vortex and C Star, True Glow, like they get more affordable options. And depending on what I feel maybe that rifle's value is or what it's worth or what I'm trying to do with it, kind of determines on like, oh, like how much am I going to spend on an optic for this, right? And And one thing I've learned over the years with how many deer I've taken, a $30 scope kills deer every bit as good as a $600 scope.
With this 300 pistol, I built it because I didn't have a 300 and just wanted to see if I'd even like it. And I've got like $350 in a gun built. So why would I put it's all dirt cheap parts, nothing on its, quality. So why would I go with a quality optic? It's just nothing but a cheap gun just to see if I liked it. Now I will eventually build me another 300 pistol that'll probably be a little higher quality.
And I want to let people out there, I posted it out there on the YouTube side. We have an early watch room over on the gun channel side for people to go in there and chat. Remember, once you go in there, refresh a couple times, and then the bottom right-hand side, click on chat rooms. And then it should give you an option, show you like 3 different chat rooms. Then all you got to do is just watch that little chat room in your bottom right-hand corner, and that's the one that will auto refresh. And then you can just stay up with the chat on gun channels. Let's see here. Primary arm scope with the ACSS reticle. That reticle is the best in my opinion. Yeah, no, like that has some really strong points. So the best is still like a mil. Like that's still the best, but ACS is good for like on the fly, quick, not having to learn a whole bunch, like just like knowing very simple, like, oh, these are my holdovers. This is, very simple ranging, right? So, but I think the most accurate is always going to be a mil or or even a straight MOA scope. You can't really just get more accurate than those, I don't think.
I've got a couple of the Nikon AR optics or whatever. I don't remember what the one that's got the bullet drop reticle for a 223, and then one with the bullet drop reticle for the 308, which the 308 one I've got on my bolt gun, my Bolt 308. But I'm a Nikon fan. I've got several Nikon scopes, a lot of 3x9s, just their cheaper stuff. But I've got 2 of those AR optics ones. Man, those are good glass and good scope.
Is your 223 Nikon the P223, the 3-power one?
Yeah, is it the P or is it the M? I don't remember on a 223 one.
If it's the P223, the 3-power one, it's a fixed 3-power. It's
no,
almost
it's not
like
a fixed.
Okay. That fixed 3-power, oh my gosh, dude. It's like basically like an ACOG, but with like good eye relief. Like it's better than an ACOG. And its reticle is such fine crosshairs that it's awesome. I mean, and the glass is beautiful. That is probably one of the best valued scopes out there, I think. Like best scope for the money. As a straight fixed 3-power Nikon with bullet drop compensation built into it for 223, and it's just, and you can have custom turret made for it for drop, so you can actually go out and chronograph your rifle and punch in numbers on a computer and then have a custom turret made for it from Nikon. Have you had that done on any of your guns?
No.
With the Nikon spot on technology, did you know about that?
I've got the Nikon spot on app.
Yeah. You can have a custom, the laser engrave a custom turret for you based on your actual rifle data.
Really?
So you can go out and chronograph your rifle, and then you just tell them basically, it's this bullet, this, weight, this velocity, and you give them the data, and that's it.
Yeah, mine's a 2-8. And I did not pay nearly $319 for it, I don't think. I think I bought it on sale for like $249 or something.
Yeah, that's kind of like what my P300 is. My Nikon P300, it's a 2-7.
See, I've got the P308. I think it looks right here beside me.
Right there it is on the far right. The Nikon P223, the 3x32. 149. You can often find those on sale for around 110 bucks. Phenomenal optic for the money for an AR. I mean, that it's just great.
Yeah, the P308 is what is it? It's a 4-12.
I got a Nikon Monarch too, and that's a nice scope.
Yeah, those are. I played with them some. But yeah, this is the one I've got. I don't remember what I gave for this, and I gave quite a bit, but I really liked the M3 or 223 that I had, so I bought this. And the only thing I have against this scope on like a bolt gun or any gun that you're going to haul around is the turrets don't, they're get bumped. I need to take some nail polish or something and mark them a little better, because I have to remember, what number I'm on at 0 here and what number I'm on at 0 here when I'm zeroed.
What do you think about the old like Sweet 22 and Sweet 223 scopes?
The BSA Sweet 22s, I've got 2 of those. I've got one on a 1022 and one on a 22 mag. And there goes my rifle on the floor. That's great. I should have put it back in the safe. I just leaned it up against beside the safe and it just fell.
That's okay. They're tools, right?
Yeah.
And I call that character. Like when they get like a little
David,
yeah, like have you ever tried the Sweet 223?
I've never tried one of those.
So they work really, really good, and they have like a tactical version, basically, of the Sweet 223.
I've actually seen that a 1-4 BSA.
Yeah, and then they have like a 2-7, and they got some more like larger power ranges. Those actually work. They're pretty good, and they even have it even comes with like the tactical ones will come with a 300 blackout drum. So you just change the top drum, and now you're 300 blackout. And but no, those actually work surprisingly well, and I haven't been able to break one yet. I've never been able to break a Sweet 22 scope, and I've had one. I have one on one rifle that I've had for at least 20 years.
Well, my son's 222, and I've got an old bolt action 22 mag that both have those BSA Sweet 22s on them, just a fixed 4-power. Those are like $20 scopes or $30 scopes. Man, they're great for those guns that we don't.
Yeah.
That aren't really shot all the time. I was trying to find this one. I just seen it at Academy. Like the day I was there. I don't see it on our website. The 1-4. Maybe it's not called a BSA, but it was made by BSA because I picked up the package and looked at it. I was like, oh, that's really cheap because it was like $40.
And the Sweet 17, I had a Sweet 17 scope for the 17 HMR, and a Sweet 22, and then a Sweet 22. I think it was a special one for the mag. I don't think it had a different drum. I can't remember if the regular Sweet 22 like long rifle came with a different drum for 22 mag. It might have been the same scopes. But gosh, I've had a bunch of those scopes over the years, all sorts, and a couple of these 223 versions. And I bought a 300 blackout BSA one, right? Because the 300 blackout supersonic has a similar bullet drop compensation for 7.62 by 39. So I'm going to be using it on a 7.62 by 39 rifle, and then hoping that the 300 blackout drum translates over and works for that, because it was cheaper than. I basically couldn't find a Sweet 7.62 by 39 scope, right? So, but this Sweet 300 black, should work for that. So we'll see. So I have a 2-7 sitting right here that I'll be using for that.
Well, the only BSAs I've ever had that I know of, I used to have an old 3x9 hunting one. I don't even know what it was. It came on a gun that I bought, probably used, but I don't even remember. And I've got those 2 little Sweet 22s, and I don't even remember what they were. They didn't cost crap. trying to find that one I saw at Academy in the store the other day. And it may have been their brand, but it had BSA somewhere on the package because I was like, oh, that's maybe BSA.
Yeah, there's the Monarchs are nice scopes, man. And actually, Bushnell Elite are nice scopes too. So I have a Bushnell Elite that's one of my most expensive scopes, and it's very, very high end, very, very, very nice.
I don't know. Probably my favorite optics I own as far as glass or Nikon. Probably I've had really good luck with all my Nikons. Even their cheaper 3x9s. I don't know what one models they are. I got one of those on my 22-250. And it's like $120 scope or something, but it's been great.
My favorite glass still has to be probably Leopold. It just, I don't know, for what you get for the money and the warranty, and just, I don't know. I've just had such good luck with them too, and just, like, oh, that's what Grandpa had on all his rifle. That's so definitely a Leo fanboy. But I own a lot of other stuff too, but
I had one Leopold's all I've ever owned, and it was on a 22-52. It was on an M77 Ruger. Oh, that was a beautiful gun. That was one of my divorce guns that I sold. Pay for an attorney
I just
and get rid of her.
find any Leopold VX3 and you're good to go on this. Damn, you like this?
I don't remember what
Fantastic.
model it was. It was a 3x9, just a regular hunting scope, but
Vortex.
kind
Simmons makes a good cheap scope.
I've had Simmons all my life growing up. That's what my dad always had on every hunting rifle. I had a Simmons on it.
For the most part, like everything I get, like seems to be pretty good. Like rarely for optics is anything bad, because, like I said, man, like we've been doing optics for so long, for so many hundreds of years now. We kind of have optics figured out, and there's just not that much new to bring to the game, really. I mean,
I'll show you one not to buy and put on a 308 bolt gun. Surely they still have it. They may not still have it. Yeah, right here. Right here. This is the biggest piece of junk I ever owned. I got 5 rounds through it, and the reticle just fell. Literally just fell in the bottom of the scope.
oh, I bet you that's reticle's a copy of the Osprey reticle. Click on the reticle. Oh no, it's not. That's a BDC. But
Yeah.
usually
We got
those
it.
are all copies of the Osprey reticle.
And I that 308 I bought on Thanksgiving morning, early one Thanksgiving morning at Gander Mountain, because they had it on sale at Ruger American. They had it on sale for like $249 for Black Friday, which was, or $299, I guess, but it was still dirt cheap for the Ruger American. So I went and bought it, and I bought one of these cheap, or I had one of these cheap center point scopes. Yeah. Anyways, I got home, went to shooting it, trying to sight it in. 5 shots in, it just dropped. The reticle just fell. I was like, what the crap? So I was so disappointed. So I drove all the way back to Gander Mountain because that was the only place open, and bought that Nikon.
I got my Nikons at Walmart when they got rid of anything that said tactical on it. So like they were like $52 or something, $53 on clearance. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm buying all of these you got. I did too. I bought them out. Not only did I buy them out, I was like going to other Walmarts. Like, man, do you got any? Do you got any?
Buckmaster, that's the one I have. Only it's not a 4-12, it's a 3x9. But I think it is a Buckmaster series. Nikon. I've got some of those, or one of those somewhere.
How can you go wrong with someone who's been making optics for so long and glass for so long?
Yeah, I mean their camera lenses and everything else are excellent. Why not?
They got cameras in space. I mean,
Yeah.
they got glass in space. So I mean, like, come on, like they know what they're doing. All right, let's see here. It's 9:30. Been going for a little over 2 hours. I think that's about it. I think we're gonna call it for today. We will be back tomorrow. At 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 6 a.m. Pacific. I guess that'd be 9 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Central. So thank you all for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow. You have anything to shout out, Snob?
No, just thanks for having me. Enjoyed it. Sitting around talking guns.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it too. I'm going to throw this link out there if anyone wants to jump in and talk about guns off air. I'm still going to be around. I'm just going to go probably talk to Snob and make me some breakfast. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Link will be over on Gun Channels in the early watch room, which I posted over there on YouTube, and I'll post over there under my link over there on the Gun Channel side. So it's www.gunchannels.com/earlywatch. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.